Hello there. How you doing? I'm Zen. You are you. It's nice to see you. I can't see you, but you can see me. There's a few shows I wanted to do today. A couple ideas. And I'm going to do the second one first because I had talked about the Hunger Games and the Great Reset and the zombie apocalypse plenty of times. I kind of touched on it yesterday. I figured I'd wait for later to do that. And I wanted to get into Circus Maximus. Welcome to the circus. Welcome to the freak show. The idea of chemistry, chemicals, and frequency and harmonics of things, and programs of why people are as completely, I don't know, just people like their brains aren't there. They don't function they're not a very high capacitance. And some people, this has to do with actual frequencies being put out into the air, frequencies inside of the foods, energies put out there. This has to do with chemicals that are put into our food, into the air, and the ones that we choose to consume, pharmaceuticals, things like this. But more importantly, and a bigger thing that I think maybe we should consider is that, like, if you're running a program on a PC and somebody else had a Linux, wouldn't work, right? It's like you're playing with a Nintendo and you try to put a Sega Genesis game in, it's not going to work. I mean, this is kind of where we are. That the reality, people's brains, they're so far from functioning for so many reasons. Again, frequencies, how often they do things, just what they interact with, how they're taught or untaught, or whatever they're being taught. Who knows? The foods they eat, the chemicals they consume. These all go into making people not smart. But I'm talking about people that really aren't even. You're not even in the same. It's not even the same game. It's like if we were racing cars around a track, and I had a Lamborghini, and you had a Ford Taurus. It's the same race. Yours sucks. Mine's awesome, and you're never gonna win that race. But it's the same race. Now, what I'm saying is, it's like if somebody was trying to, I don't know, trying to play volleyball while you're racing around a track. Like, you're not even playing the same game. Like, these people aren't even playing. They're not even running with the same operating system, and they don't have the same hardware. They definitely don't have the same software. And some people's brains have been completely hardwired to be different from birth. This goes into a lot of other things about why people, we can get into like the trans thing, transformation of what other, the sexes, or the transhumanism agenda kind of thing, where robots and computers and the interlinking with human consciousness. We can do all that. That's part of it too. But mostly, I want to address the idea that there are people that you can't communicate with. Literally, there is. It's even people that speak another language. You could figure it out. You both speak languages. You both are human. You could kind of point at an object. You could say tree, and they don't know what tree means, but you could figure that out eventually. Where I'm talking about, these people are on a whole different stratosphere of I don't even know how their thinking works, especially when it comes to what's going on with the whole, the thing's been going on for almost 2 years that's completely insane and irate, and that people just repeat this stuff, and they, like, their brain just becomes, you ask them to use logic and reason, and there is no logic and there is no reason. It's like their logic board is broken. Isn't that a part of there's a logic board? And no, it's broken. There's no they have no critical thinking skills. There is no fundamentally they base things off of. I really don't know. You know, it's people. It's very interesting when you get into like the liberal Democrat thing, and then you get into the conservative Republican thing, and it's so funny because I think both of them are very wrong on a lot of stances, and both of them are very right on some. Oddly enough, which it confuses and upsets people on both sides. So I'm kind of odd out of both of the groups, because I'm all for, if you want to go get your stuff chopped up and get a whole new undercarriage and get some tits installed, go for it. You know, I think there's some underlining mental health issues that should be considered prior to that, and self-love and understanding. But hey, go for it. Go. People modify themselves all the time. I'm all right with that. But that doesn't mean, you know. And then oddly enough, I'm not with a bunch of the other things they do, which is what they how obscene they are with not being able to make anything. They don't want to objectify anything, yet they objectify everything. It's very, very funny. They won't give anything a specific word. Everything is so subjective, and it's feeling, and it's this and that, which is fine. But on the other side, you know, these people are like, oh, this is a great Christian nation, and the Bible says this, and I'm like, you're ruining it. Like, shut up. Like, just be conservative and be that. Be conservative and be Republican, whatever you need to be, but just leave the fucking Bible out of it. That would help. That would help their cause, because that's I can tell you without question, we can look through history and see that science and religion have both aggressively destroyed culture, destroyed people, like the whole everything about it, and people that, you know, very religious people try to say, oh no, that's not true, that was just, no, it happens everywhere. They don't like pagans, and they don't even know what pagan means. They don't like witches. I mean, we go through the whole history of any type of religion and science, because science has become religion, has screwed everything up. But as the world unfolds into where we are today, that's communication is vital, and it seems like more and more people are incapable of having any type of dialogue, discussion, or conversation. They're unable to make any coherent sentences, statements. Their inability to even comprehend simple logic. It's befuddling. So who's up in here? Hello. What's up, Skull? I'm a sitting bull. Well, I'm more like I'm hammocking bull, I guess. What else? Who's up in here? What's up, Novel? What's up, Damien? Haven't seen you in a little bit. What's up, man? It's really all, it comes down to, like, I think that, you know, the wheat and the chaff is like computer people. If you looked at people as computers, like their brains are almost empty at this point, like empty, like their hardware is broken. It's like they're mentally are it's not even dysfunctional. They don't even function. It's not like old and out of touch. It's not because I say no cap. I don't, you know, it's not because I don't say that. It's just that it's not because I don't know lingo. It's not because, no, it's quite literally that people are not capable of even interacting on any human level, even a computer level. I mean, try having a conversation with somebody, you know, on Instagram or on YouTube or anywhere else. Try to. It doesn't work. You're talking to people that want to be right, even though they have no foundation for anything they say. They get one piece of information and then they're sure of it. It's a travesty. I thought we were supposed to be upgrading as a human species. Like I thought that's what happened. I thought evolution occurred. Hmm. Am I again in the same spot? Who's this here? Oh, what's up, Steven? Yeah. You know what? Because I was on the other side, hanging out, and there was just some funky energy over there, so I dipped. Oh, novel. That's fucking hilarious. Mm-hmm. It's hilariously insane because I don't know how anybody think that's even reasonable or any way enforceable. Like really, truly, considering it's not what they say it is, and it's. I see. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to get my channel shut down. So I can allude and talk around it, or also fuck my channel up. But it's clearly like, it's like if you went into a restaurant. Let's try this. You walk into a restaurant and somebody's like, you gotta order the pork chops. And on the menu there's pork chops, a steak, chicken wings, and spaghetti. And well, let me take this one further. Somebody's like, you gotta order pork chops, and they got spaghetti, chicken, a steak, and bologna, but there's no pork chop. But everybody keeps saying you gotta get the pork chop. But you're like, but I'm looking at the menu here, and it's 4 different things that don't equate to a pork chop. You understand what I'm saying, right? This is what's happening. And everybody's like, oh, but you... And then if you go in and you just, well, I'll get the steak. And then they'll give you a receipt. And then you come out and everybody's like, oh, good, I see you got the pork chop. You're like, no, I got steak. Yeah, but you have the receipt for getting the pork chop. But there's no pork chop in there. So that's where we are. And people that have got the steak or the chicken, they'll try to convince you that they ate a pork chop and that you need to have pork chops. And be like, well, I don't like pork chops. I'm allergic to them. And I don't even really like steak or chicken, by the way. And I don't want that other thing on the menu. I don't want the spaghetti. What about that? And they go, no, but you got to. Like, why? Because I did. But yeah, but I don't like any of those. I don't want those. That might actually make me sick because I'm allergic to, or because I don't know, like, do you know what is in the recipe? Yeah, ask them for the recipe. Like, no, that's so they're not going to tell you what's in there because it doesn't look like anything. It's a bunch of weird stuff and it doesn't taste right because it doesn't smell good. Why don't you give me the recipe? See if I can figure out, because I know that when you go to a grocery store, there's like on the package it gives you a list of ingredients. I know that, right? And you look on that list of ingredients and you go, oh, there's some things in there I don't want to put into my person. And you don't buy those. I know you don't. But they're happy as clams to go to a restaurant and not know what they're putting. Well, they keep telling you the pork chop. They're going to get something else and then still claim it was a pork chop and that you need to have it. And then they'll give you the dumbest reasons for it. Because it will make you healthier. Because it's good for you. Because if you don't, then you don't care about anybody else. Like, are you sure? Because that doesn't Doesn't sound like it all makes sense because I don't eat swine religiously. I don't do that. I don't kill pigs to eat them. So why would I want that now? And what does that have to do with? Yeah, but if you were just have some right now, then everybody else would be better. Everybody else would be safe. Okay, makes sense. The thing I've been hearing a lot is that I thoroughly enjoy is make it make sense, and none of them can. They have no, their brain starts to overheat and explode. So I really do. Anybody who hasn't been paying attention to what's going on, I really do see this. If you haven't seen the first wave of zombie type behavior, you're not even paying attention. It's like the whole Karen thing on steroids. Fasting a little bit. What's up, Divine? Yes, I've been fast. I got up and had some piss. See, it's funny. You drink piss, and if you drink piss, and you tell that to somebody that wants pork chops, they would be like, "That's disgusting. I can't believe you drink your piss. That's filthy. There's no way that's healthy." I'm like, "Actually, I know it is, and I can prove it to you." And they don't want to hear it, and I can show you and prove to you that pork chops probably ain't so healthy. And they don't want to hear that. They're convinced that the greatest thing they ever did was eat pork, and that piss is no good, unhealthy, make you sick. It's an excrement from the body. Yet they eat pig intestine, which is where the excrement in the blood of the pig and the entire animal that's in the mud that is a giant pile of mess. And they like their shellfish too, which are bottom feeders. Oddly enough, they'll eat all that. But no, piss is dirty. Moving yugas. A lot of yugos getting moved out here. Yeah, I mean, Steve, you know what? I hear so many different things. I'm not waiting around for 60 years. That's nonsense. Nobody wants to deal with this for 60 years. That can't possibly be right. And we don't even know what time we're in, for real. Too many people have too many different ideas on it. For me, I'm just kind of like whatever on the whole subject matter, really. I mean, I get it. I think we're going into a new age. But you know, when you start to think that they've maybe inked in some false history, that our whole narrative of everything is very wrong. You got a sidereal astrology. You got Western. You've got Vedic. You've got Mayan. It's too much going on. And the best of the best that know about astrology, some of them still think we're in a heliocentric model. So, you know, everything is completely live and up for debate, malleable, I guess. It's kind of like when people are like, to me, that's the same kind of feeling is. Remember growing up, you'd always, Jesus is coming back. Jesus is coming back. Oh, did you meet him the first time? That guy, Jesus? Oh, no, you read about him, but he's coming back. Okay. And they would say that, and then they say it again, and said it again in the 2000s, and then said it again 2012, and they said it again. And now they're even more convinced he's coming back. He's going to make these politicians pay. He's going to make these meanie, batty, booby, snooby goobies. You're going to really get it this time. Like, what's he waiting on? Because I don't know if you noticed that pretty much our history has been governmental systems and pharmaceutical companies just wrecking shop. So all these people For me, I'm like, you're blaspheming against whatever God is to think that there's some guy going to come back and do something. Like, where is he? What is he doing? Now, individually, as gods and goddesses, we can do something, and we are as much as we can. But like, what the hell you think you're going to do? You're gonna go overthrow the whole system. Jesus is gonna do it. Yeah, I love those people. All hit me up in my DMs. Look, hey, Timothy 5:40 says, and Matthew 3:22 says. I'm like, yeah, and man wrote that, and man edited it, and it went through a printing press, which is owned by the Freemasons that you don't respect. And it's also, but it's a Christian nation. Oh, that you stole, that your people, and where are you from? You know what I mean? Like, don't. It's just such a, like, no. The more that you really pay attention to people, nobody knows shit. Nobody knows shit, and the people that do know shit, we stop talking. It's not even worth saying no more. People love to listen to people that bullshit and they believe them. And people that are being honest and knowing something, I don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear about it. They think the zombie thing is funny. Dude, look up some videos of people wilding out. There's some people doing some things that are, and I don't care whether it is how it's occurring. It's as the beginning of the video, my title, the frequency, the Circus Maximus, the frequency and chemical alteration of people and consciousness, and what it's doing to people's minds and bodies, and you know, people ain't gonna really believe the zombie thing until one is like walking, even ones with walking down the street, they would have some sort of excuse for it. No, they're everywhere, man. They've been a little bit, you know. People are just like, oh, living in a haze, living in a zombie land. Now it's not. I don't think it's as allegorical as people like to say it is. Especially as all the people that are these theorists of things. Apparently, the side that has been saying there's weird shit going on, we're batting pretty good. We're batting about 90% right now. You know, batting like 900. I think that might be Hall of Fame. I think that might be, you know, yeah. But you can't accept it. None of it. Nope. It's right there. Just it's happening. No, I'm not. These people that defend this bullshit. Mm. It really is. It's so idiocracy. Even the most average of intelligence person can see there's something a little off in the world, and even find a way to convey that. But everybody else is so completely, astoundingly, amazingly dumb. Now, it's like, oh, you can't call people stupid. You can't call people dumb. Here's a conversation I had to read yesterday, and this came from a real person. There was somebody on the Instagram, and if y'all didn't know, this Project Veritas, they had done some. They had go check it out. They had some people like talk to people within the different institutions, FDA, doctors, people within different organizations, and kind of did it on the low. And it was like this dude came out a couple days ago and was saying basically they were going to blow dart the things into the African American community, and was laughing and giggling about it, as if like that he would like to go door to door and stab people. And this was obscene, insane, absurd. He was happy and joyous about possibly murdering people, and then people had were commenting on this, on the thing, saying, "Oh, this dude is an asshole. He's gay. He's this." Commenting on, and somebody was like, "This is terrible. You guys are gonna make him, commit suicide or something." And like, this is wrong. You shouldn't be saying this. And I was like, where are we that these people are that this person's not gonna get on this Instagram post and read any of these, for one. But he's okay completely, and he's happy and giddy about going and blow darting people with things they don't want, and stabbing them, and perhaps killing them, and getting rid of part of the population. And he's good with that, and he's allowed to say that. But if somebody says that they think he dresses like a fag, that's unreasonable, and that's inhumane. What? Mm. Mm. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. That's like, if liberal logic. Although I don't like to play the liberal versus conservative game, because, again, as I said earlier, I think they both are wrong on quite a bit of things. And probably when I was younger, I had a much more, you call it, liberal standpoint in things. But now I'm like, I agree with people that are more conservative up to a certain point. Like, I don't, I ain't all about like flag waving. Hey, get rid of the flag too, because I'm all for one world. Yes, I am. There shouldn't be any borders. There shouldn't be any. I think we've already bypassed that a long time ago. It's called "The World Is Flat." It's a book, and it was about an economist explaining how there's no such thing as countries. There's just companies these days. It's just it's corporations, and flags mean nothing. It's just another business, another corporate enterprise. Get rid of your flag and your Bible. It's terrible. And also, like, but don't replace it with a different one, because you got a bunch of fancy colors on it. Doesn't make it any better. And I like Pride Parade. There's pride in the city all the time. San Fran's cool with me. You want to go do drugs and dress like you want to dress, and yeah, have at it. I'm okay with that. At the same time, it's like, man, it's like the wild, wild west out here, man. That's probably why I'm just gonna be sitting around here most of these days. Ain't nothing to do. I don't want to argue with these people. I don't want these people, and I don't want to interact with these brain dead people in public. It's pointless. I've already tried to walk in a couple places, and it was like the people in there and the person running the store, basically, because I didn't have the whole diaper on my face. There was like a whole. It was like a whole thing, and I just basically was like, really, like let's like. I was like, all right, well then I sit down. I was like, okay, so if you're standing up, and then the bar, I was at a bar, and the person was like, but if you even get up to go to the bathroom, you have to put it on. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what changes? Like, and everybody else that's sitting at the bar drinking a beer is like teaming up and giving me shit for walking in without one. But then I was like, oh, then I just sat right down. I was like, well, I'm at the bar now. What's the problem? And they still had a problem. I was like, this is amazing. Why want to interact with people like that? It's amazing out here. Arcane. Yeah, Arcane. You seen the dude on the plane? Yeah, that was not drunk. He was on some other shit, man. And there's no way he was doing bath salts, in a plane ride. He didn't get on there with that. That was literally some other stuff, man. That's a lack of hypoxia and lack of oxygen to the brain, high altitudes, blood clotting of the brain, plus whatever chemicals are running through a system. It's no good. Yeah, anybody want to go look up the videos of, I think it's called Kensington? It's Philadelphia. It's a city in Philadelphia. I think it's called Kensington. Go look up the zombies of Kensington, zombies of Philadelphia. She'll blow your mind. Granted, I know these exist in other cities too, but it's to the point, and I've lived in cities where that was a thing, and there's streets like that, but not to this degree. People literally zombied out. I mean, I've seen plenty of people heroined out. I know what that, they could be kind of hunched over and they got the heroin lean on. I've seen that plenty of places, but that's just like, one or two here or there, like the entire city scope. That's what it is. It's crazy, man. And to think they're only adding more chemicals to the mixture. Stan. Yeah, sometimes the third day, stomach acids might make you vomit. I've never had that happen, but I could see how your stomach could churn a little bit because your stomach is still producing stomach acid and bile and things. So when you're not putting any food in there, it can cause a little bit of acid stomach. Yeah, the dude. Yeah, for sure, for certain. I don't doubt that. Uh, I don't doubt that anything that is popular. I don't doubt that the narrative is controlled to some degree. I don't. But to say that all of the other information that people have seen on all of the, you know, VAERS, look up VAERS, look up VAERS, look at the reports on, and then things are going on there. And how much of that isn't even, how much of the adverse reactions and things that aren't even um, reported. It's obscene. There's, you know. So no, and again, I don't know anything about them like that. Um, it doesn't take away from that shit is happening. I've seen plenty of people do like just on the low go into like hospitals or show the parking lots like through through the past year or whatever, and there's nobody there. They won't let people in. They'll walk through emergency rooms and whatever, and they're just empty. So like, I mean, I get that, most every aspect of the media is contrived, controlled, and again, you say they've been caught using actors, but according to who? Again, because you can easily control the narrative that way. You sure they weren't lied on? I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm not taking their side on anything, but certainly there's plenty of adverse things that are occurring, right? Yeah. So that dude, I'm not saying I trust them like that, but you're saying to. So what's your choice then? You're gonna trust the governments and the all of the pharmaceutical companies that have literally all been, some of the biggest lawsuits in the world for the damaging effects of things that they poison people with. I mean, you don't really. There's, comparing an organization that might be bullshitting, but to get a point across, versus, oh, it's lovely, isn't it? Cozy. Take care, y'all. So versus a giant conglomerate of people working in pharmaceutical business, it's not even comparison. The the absolute uh, buttfuckery, buffoonery, the insanity, the poison makers, like to even put that in the same, like it's like saying like a kid, like a 2-year-old punched you, and then somehow that's equivalent to you know a gang of crackheads running through a city, shooting people. It's basically that's the conversation. Yeah. So that dude. It's like to saying something like that is again is another. It's a very. It's not even a slippery slope. It's just you're comparing grenades with flies. It's not even the same. And just because even if they did, it's like that negates everything else. That the entire pharmaceutical everyone within all of those corporations have, again, the people individually, they don't know what's going on because it's compartmentalized. That's how it always has worked. But to say that these things are out there for our benefit is beyond insane. It doesn't acknowledge anything of nature. Get into like allopathy and naturopaths and get into like just how animals function and what plant life does and living versus dead things and inorganic and chemistry and organic compounds. And I mean, it's so far beyond debatable just because I'm not saying I'm out there trusting them. It's an interesting thing. I mean, in that case, then who is there to listen to? If you don't trust them, then how the hell are you trusting the other people on TV? How you trusting? If you're not trusting them, then how the hell are you trusting the people that are making money off of this shit? Mm. That's beyond. That's not even ironic. That's just weird. Yeah, but there you go with the stomach acids, though. Because your body's still going to be up to 72 hours. About 72 hours in is when you'll stop producing the acids because your body will realize it's not getting fed anymore, so it will go into the next mode of eating up fats, and it will stop producing. So it'll use your fats to turn into glucose and glycogen, um, and that will start functioning rather than uh, eating sugars that are coming into the body. It will find them from other parts of the body, and it only goes after a very very small amount of muscle after 3 days. This is why I tell people all the time, do not do 3-day fasts. It's very bad. If you do a lot of 3-day fasts, you'll lose a lot of muscle mass because those 3 days your body is still, I believe, taking about 28 grams of muscle a day. But then after that, it's like a fraction. It's a fraction of that. It might be like 2 grams or something very small. So it's like women usually, men do it too, but usually the idea of people that have eating disorders that end up vomiting up their food, or that they won't eat for a few days and then they'll just pig out and then vomit. Like they're gonna be very skinny and have a lot of health issues because their body is actually eating away at itself. The first 3 days is the toughest. Do intermittent fasting, daily fasting, or more than 5 days. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Do I know the dude, or did he just show up? Like, is he like one of the people in the background that just shows up to say something weird? I don't know. I thought I'd seen him here before. There's something important to say. I don't know. Whatever. People always be like, oh yeah, yeah. For most of our life, I didn't, these people in the past, and the governments and the pharmaceutical industries and every other industry, they've always been lying and bullshit and fucking up, but now they don't. Now they don't. No, they don't. No, not now. Hmm. They just they just they just stop making money. Oh wait, they make money by doing that. That's right, because that's where they gain their energy and their power. So they're just gonna give that up. Take a pay cut. Take. I mean, hey, most reasonable people, if you were doing something a little crazy and making a lot of money, you would take a pay cut to be a good person. Whatever you think a good person is. I think most people on here would. But that's because you're cut. You're not coming from the standpoint of being like a a uh, a full-on narcissistic sociopath. You know, the worst parts of of capitalism turns people into narcissistic sociopaths. The more money you make, it breeds insanity. So most of us are, in most of the world, no matter where you are, and this isn't saying socialism or communism or any of this is the correct answer, but um, most people can't understand the mind of people that have a lot and think that they really believe they're doing something. They're making jobs and producing something. I've seen somebody defend the idea of capitalism, saying that it works because because people earn more, that put more work in, and they produce more. And I'm like, most people I know that are rich actually do no work and don't produce more. They literally leveraged through, you know, loans and banks and institutions. They leveraged things and using interest, inflation, and income tax to get more while everybody else had less. That's how it's always worked. Like, especially when you have a stock market that includes for-profit companies and you have investors. Like, you can't get around how that works. And this is why, you know, you look into what happens in late stage capitalism. You know, I'm not going to just mimic what people that are into communism say, or socialism, but there's it's obviously exists late stage communism. It's capitalism. You get to a J curve where it's so far divergent of that you literally have what we're looking at in this country right now. It's pretty obscene. What do you think happens? Oh, so the dude is a dude that is just like one of the peoples in the background that kind of like waits for me to say something that goes against the popular narrative, and then says something weird and then leaves. Is that what that is? Oh, it's not gonna. Doesn't really change much, does it? Go ahead, write a list up of all of all the sins of that company, right? Versus the sins of all of the pharmaceutical companies. Let's see if it's even in the same. If you can even put in the same breath of insanity, of compassion, of empathy, of reasonable, logical discourse, that you could even. Mm. The only thing I don't prefer about this spot here is I don't have a bathroom too close to me, and I would like to pee pee. I'd like to do a little pissy pants. What else? What else? So, hello everybody. What's going on? Let me give a little more bit of color to my phone so I can see what's happening here. One second, y'all. Oh, though you're talking about. No, I don't think it broke. I think it's like just getting up. It's a slight hill, and it's just tough on a four person joint. Yeah, when you got for people going up that hill. If you're not invested into really pedaling, you got to push it. I've seen like 4 strong dudes have it. It's only a little hill, but yeah. Yes, I would have if it was actually broken. The place they get it from is right back there. They could just turn around. It's literally like right there. I'll be with you in 1 second, y'all. Relaxing or cold? Oh no! In fact, you'll probably your body temperature will change often, and a lot of times your body temperature will go down. So relaxing, I think she means, and you probably want to do something that is warming. Most of the time during a fast, you'll find yourself colder. Uh, you don't really heat up too much. There will be times, just like when you have lots of energy versus little energy. Sometimes you be like want to sleep, and other times you don't. But most most of most of what your body will be doing is probably lowering the temperature most of the time. So things like actually using a sauna is a good idea. Yeah, like what are they? What are those called? Those bags? Well, usually those ones usually used for enemas, like enema bags. You can actually fill those up with warm water. Those are good, and it's actually good using those for like if during a fast, good things you can do is do those warm warm bags on your stomach to loosen up your gallbladder, livers, your liver, gallbladder, to loosen up stones and things. And you're using putting a little bit of castor oil on your stomach helps as well, because apparently you're gonna suck some of that in, and it helps to release stones. Stan is a young buck. Yeah, how old are you, Stan? What are you? Late 40s? Late 40s, I think. And I'm not being nice to be nice. I thought you were late 40s. I don't know. Hopefully you're not 30. Idiot, Zen. 62. Isn't that 62 is retirement in Canada. And 60, 62, 65 here in the U.S. usually. Which I don't know. I don't know how that works anymore because most people have not stayed with the company long enough to even make that. Most people stay. When you think about your parents back in the day, they would keep a job for X number of years, and then they retire. They got their fund and blah blah blah. Most people haven't worked there anywhere long enough. What did Carlin say? They're coming after your pension. They're coming after your like it doesn't. Especially considering what money is worth now versus whenever people were getting it. Like they're like, oh, I'll make this much money in pension when I retire. Like, did you put interest, inflation in there, and what that dollar's gonna be worth? That's one of the fun things. How much more expensive food items are now. Should be interesting. I'm considering finding a cabin. If anybody wants to go in on getting a cabin somewhere near a lake around here, that way we can just it'll be like our bug out cabin for the zombie apocalypse. Stock up on the essentials. Some beers, some wines, some vodka, some lots of. I don't think we could get a farm going quick enough. Lots of canned pineapples. Yeah, it's good. Some good books. Yeah, distilled water. Yeah, and if you get any, you can kind of change that back with some piss and distilled water. Like the. Yeah. Oh yes, these are comfy. And this is what's up today. Oh yes.
Yeah, they got fish. What size is it? I just caught like a 6-pound fish. What's it? I know. What kind is it?
Oh, you threw it back?
Yeah.
You went, yeah. He said he caught a 6-pounder. That's crazy. Yeah, even this tiny little lake here. This is a lake. It's small. It's small. Yeah, this is how big it is. This is the size of it. I'll show you. That's about the size of it. Right there. And it's not even that deep. It's not even that deep at all. You caught that 6-pounder over here, or were you over on the other side? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, 6-pounders in this thing, and it's shallow. You could probably walk across this. There might be some spots you would have to swim, but most of it is mass shallow. And considering where we are, if anybody's not familiar with this, so there's a old Tartarian building right there that is now the museum. It's Noma, and it's obvious that it was mud flooded. So, and there's a golf course right there. And there's a lot of old things going on here. That I look in the water, and there's really interesting things in the water. There's giant bricks and stones and masonry things that there's nothing around here that has any of that. And I'm wondering what it's doing in there. And if you get into the ideas of golf courses, that they're built on top of something, that like this might be we might be sitting on top of an underground facility right here. I mean, I know there's underground shit. There's underground tunnels that they said they built in the 60s, and then they never opened. They were building it in the 60s, and they were going to use it as a tunnel under the where was it? Yeah, it was a tunnel across. It was a tunnel over there, and they were doing it maybe under the Mississippi. I don't know what it was. I forget where. But anyways, it's in the middle of the city. And they turn it into a parking lot for Harrah's, the casino. But when you look at it, you're like, there's no way this was just built in the 60s. And they never opened it. So all in all, like this, we could be sitting on top of something right here. Like I wonder if I go in that building, like if I got to know somebody, I'd be like, okay, where's the basement? And then be like, okay, where's the basement? Somebody's got to know that building right there goes deeper. Which even where it is now, where I can see where the first floor is, and I know there's a floor underneath that. I can see it on the side. It would be deeper than this water is. It's pretty interesting. Well, why is it that men love to look 50 to 100 years older wearing beards? Are you asking me? I don't. I don't. I just prefer it because I don't think I look that much older. Most people actually still think I look a little bit younger, despite this. I did because I don't like putting a knife to my neck. It's kind of like I grow hair, so why wouldn't I? Like just every week I'm gonna cut my hair and my beard. I don't see it. I don't see the draw in it. I can see why some people like to shave and some people don't have full grown beards and clean shaven, whatever. But obviously, women don't grow beards, therefore you don't have beards. Men do. That's an easy way to figure out that there's two sexes, two genders. Men have facial hair. Women do not. It's just about the size of it. Yeah, Stan, might as well. Hey, Stan, you want to come down? You want to come down to the States, man? Come down here. I mean, we're pretty good here. This is luckily, despite this being a Democrat state, which is odd. It's odd as anything because obviously New Orleans is very beyond. You can do anything you want. It's like not saying we're. It's weird the types of things that they're very liberal and not care laissez-faire about, but then the other conservative values that it would seem to be there'd be a lot more things here that would be more more of a Republican run, but it's a Democrat state. But despite that, they've taken a stance of I think right now there's like 30 states that are like no to the federal thing, but then you have like some of the suggestions by the governor who's like suggesting that you gotta have this to go into certain places. You gotta have the thing. Yeah. If you want to go to a big show or if you want to go to, a very silly thing. But anyways, yeah, so it's pretty fine down here. And especially if you get outside of the city proper and you go to like a town outside of here. Look at if you look at Lake Pontchartrain and look at the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain, you might find something cool. A lot of land, a lot of country folk. Close enough to over here. Men expect women to look 21 forever. I don't. No, I mean, women could look a lot younger for a longer period of time, but most women, they put so much makeup on, they ruin they have a horrible diet, and then once the makeup comes off, most women never look 21. The only ones looking 21 for a very long time are the ones that are disguising themselves with makeup. You see these, but then they, I don't know how many chicks that in college I would take home and be like, oh, they would take the makeup off. I'm like, oh no, this is not right. Yeah, they don't have healthy skin. They don't have no. It was all an illusion. Wearing push-up bras, all that. Louisiana lizard people. Yeah. I mean, I might have been one of the Louisiana lizard people that stayed above ground. What you think about that? You need a job? What you do? Stan, you do plumbing and shit, right? Yo, bro, right now you could definitely come down here and find any. Dude, you realize we just had a hurricane. You'd have a job like that. Anything in like if you know plumbing, then you probably know other, you know, building houses, roofing, blah blah blah. Like right now, you'd have a job doing anything. Most of the city needs to be fucking rebuilt, and the infrastructure is shit. So, depending on how everything plays out here, they always rebuild the city after hurricanes, but like, um, yeah, there's a lot of people left, so there's plenty of work to be done. You'd have a job. You could probably look up online. You could probably find a job tomorrow. Whether it's on a crew or like shit, you can come down here and start your own business. All sorts of people need stuff done, and you could probably and some of these places too. Some of these people, like there's Section 8 housing. And there's also people were getting FEMA money really quick down here, which was odd because the last time FEMA was dragging their feet. Now everybody I've heard was getting their checks pretty quick when they had a problem. So FEMA was giving them money really quick, like within a week, filling out the paperwork. Their roof got damaged, blah blah blah. So, a lot of that is going right to the companies that are fixing the houses. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you need. Yeah, I hear you. You need the wabby schnammer wabber flabbers. I mean, Stan, I'm not gonna tell you how to, but there are many border pass there are many borders that you can just drive across. Not all of them require the same amount of, like, not everyone is like Niagara Falls border. There's some that you can just like walk across. Like in the upper, let's see what states. I don't even know the United States like that, but like I was like Wisconsin. Once you get away from Chicago and the Finger Lakes, and before you get to the other side of the country, where Seattle is, all that area in there, there's plenty of borders that are basically. Oh, nice, Colin. Yeah, you know what? Most of it is how hard you'll argue it, and if you have maybe a little bit of if you look up, you look up the actual, here's the exemption 25C-30 and this one, and here's the according to Nuremberg, and here's the HIPAA laws, and if you just hand them that and be like, all right, well, it's either sign here, or else. Like they just go, okay, you're right. Like they just want the battle, because they know most people won't. They don't actually know. They're just saying it and they don't know. But yeah, the that could work. That should work for most anybody anywhere. I mean, and also, whether it's religious, right, or you could have an allergy, like you could literally have pre-existing medical conditions that won't allow you to get that. There's plenty of people that can be exempt that way. I just most people don't know that. They're not willing to even consider it. But yeah, I hear you. Sucky ducky. Yeah, there you go. Tell them you work for Congress. Stan, there you go. There's your anybody just tell them you work for Congress. I mean, that right away should just let everybody know in on the trick, right? If they are exempt, I mean, I thought we needed them the most. Shouldn't they be the first ones to get it and want it? We need them the most, right? Beers, beers, beers. Oh yeah, yeah. I hear you on that because you definitely need a doctor's kind of. Yeah, I get you on that. Yeah, the religious one should be, all in all, should be pretty simple. But hey, what do I know? So what else? What else is going on in the world? I'm sitting here considering where to piss, and there's way too many people out right now that it's wouldn't be a good look right now to do a little pissy pants. And the bath, shit, even the bathroom that I could use, they won't let you in unless you have your unless you have your thing. It's so ridiculous. I'm like, well, what if I have my mask on? Shouldn't that work? It's fucking janky, dude. Maybe just go there and be like, hey, okay, I got a shit. Well, you need this or this. I don't have that. Okay, fine, I'll just shit on the floor. Your choice. Let me go use the restroom. I'm gonna shit right here. Your choice. Go for it. I mean, yeah, I hear you, Divine. But I mean, that's a whole nother thing all together. Like, is that dude even alive? Is it just an actor? How many people are playing that character? Is that a mask? There's so many things that go into that. And the amount of them that got like the fake jabby wabbers, the jabberwockies. Well, yeah, I mean, no doubt, no doubt they were. Well, here's just to make it clear that during this whole thing, because has been it hasn't been what people thought it was, that at least half of the people weren't even getting it anyways. They weren't getting the pork chop. They were getting a glass of water, because you need to have a placebo. You need to use that as the control group. So they didn't know it. So people that were good, they were part of the control group. So some people lucked out. Some people were like, oh, I was fine. I guess we lucked out. There's been plenty of reasons for it, but yeah, you find out. Yeah, I wonder how long. I do wonder about that. Like how long, you know, with the all the extras that go on top, the boosters and all this stuff and all that crazy. Like I wondered if they're just saying how much and how they can alter and change things. Like if they'll turn people into robots or zombies or whatever. I mean, again, if you just go back to watching the TV shows or the movies, you get a clue. You get a clue to it. I don't know. I hope it's quicker. Honestly, I don't want these people to suffer. I don't. I don't want. I don't. Hopefully they're just quick. I mean, there's a lot of people that have already expired. So, and okay, now if we get into, I was gonna save this for the second show later, but we'll dig into it a little bit now. Um, the reset, the Georgia guidestones and all this. That's just your Rosicrucians, Rosicrucian, right? And some of those things are really good ideas, and some are just tremendously awful. Um, I I wonder why would they only want that small of a number of people? Because even if you just got rid of, because the idea would be get rid of like what 90% of the population, that would leave the entire planet pretty empty, you know. And I mean, at that point, I guess everybody just picks out the house they want, and we all start over, right? You know, maybe that's the game. But, hey, congratulations, you passed the game. Go pick whatever you want. Go have fun. And here's your platinum card, and go have some fun. We'll restock the planet with humans. But I mean, would you really need to get rid of that many? Would it really have to go to, what is 500 million? From 7 billion to 500 million? It's quite a bit. I mean, couldn't you just get rid of like half? Even if you got rid of, I mean, just think about it. If every city got rid of half of the people there, it'd be very noticeable. Very noticeable. And it'd be more, I mean, from their standpoint, more manageable. Exceptionally manageable. Even with the number of people now, it's very manageable. Like without everything that's going on, they could have kept everything going. The big corporations would have stayed being big corporations. Small businesses would have stayed being small businesses. There's only so many people. There's only so many locations. There's only so much that can be done. You know, you can't have more businesses than you can't have more, you know, businesses than you have mouths to feed or things that people need. So I mean, there's always that organic stop loss. So it's not like they could have kept the whole charade going for, honestly, if they would get rid of, as I've said many times, get rid of income tax, inflation, and interest. Everybody would still be in the same spot, and it would upgrade the life for most people, and the people that still had power, they would maintain power. It would be they could keep the whole game going, and it would upgrade the whole system. They wouldn't have to eliminate so many of the game players. Which is interesting because I just started watching this show called, it's the #1 show on Netflix right now. It's called Squid Games. It's a show about South Korea? No. China? No, I don't know. It was like, that's where it was made, and it was basically people that gambled, and they were in debt, and they took them all to play this game. And a lot of people were getting eliminated from the game. It's a very, very classic. When I say classic, in the past 10 years, you've seen movies and shows like this. Very Hunger Games-esque. People to pay off and then win a big prize at the end to play some silly games. Who's up in here? What's up, McKeeb? 2006. What do they want to bot and half human? Well, that's a possibility. I mean, we've already done the route of plasticizing people, where people, obviously, you can live longer with a fake heart. You can get a new leg made out of titanium put on. You can use all sorts of technology, and you can get fake boobies installed, fake tits, and look different, and never gain a real personality, right? Never really have any experience. And you just kind of, they've been doing that for a while, but that, wouldn't this next step be what everybody's been saying? All the books have been talking about. Let's see if we can. How can we hybridize computer systems or robots with humans? And has it, and was it already done thousands of years ago? And are those the people? Are those the consciousnesses that we see as the gods? That they were half human hybrids, half technology, half humans, and and you kind of get the idea of vampirism or vampires, and they were still running on blood, right? So the idea would be like if you needed fuel for something, and the fuel for the being was still blood, how else they couldn't run it on something else. So to maintain their human-like quality, if they needed whatever blood was, whatever spark of life that was, then that would be very vampiric, right? They couldn't get it a different way. They couldn't just start putting a coolant in there. They couldn't find something else to run it on. It's a possibility. Who's to say that there aren't the half hybrid computer bot things? And how would you know? I mean, the idea of the vampire thing, I mean, we upgraded it to now you go to the Red Cross and they just take your blood and they say, oh, people need that in hospitals. People are going to need your blood. Are you sure? You sure you sure that's what that's for? And now the people that were vampiric or whatever, they don't got to go around actually taking the human and sucking the blood out of them. They can just send them to the doctor's office. They'll get the blood anyways. Seems like a reasonable, more humane way of doing it. Perhaps. Wild West. Oh yeah. The Ready Player One is one of my favorite movies, and the wearable stuff and technology. Yeah, like thinking about glasses. Glasses aren't good for us to wear, but in some ways we need them sometimes. Some people's eyes are not so good. There's certain things. Crutches are not great to use your entire life, but sometimes you need them, right? There's all sorts of technology that are great. Like a hammer is great. It's a tool. It's a technology, but you don't want to carry it around with you. I need to do it. I need to build a house. Okay, here's a nail. Here's this. You use it and then you put it down. Go on to the next thing. But to have everything like installed in you, technology, no matter what it is. Like I like playing video games as much as the next person, but that whole like you say, the whole Ready Player One. If you've never seen Ready Player One, highly suggest it. It's a great movie. Great movie. And the end of it, they go, okay, everybody can go live in the computer system, but you do it for 3 days, and then you get 4 days that you actually live this life here, and like a normal person with other humans and friends and family, and you eat food and blah blah blah. But in the game, you still have that discrepancy where at the beginning of the movie, right? Everybody was trying to be into the game, and they wanted to be part of the digital realm because the society was just crumbling, and everything was mountains of trash, right? Quite an interesting concept. I think it was really well done. Oh yeah, the commercials. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, Divine. Commercials been using bots. They've been, yeah, lots of interesting things. Commercials about like the realm we live on, the dome thingy, the robots, yeah, yeah. Interesting, Draculus. Yeah. Well, that's why they said some people have been joking around like, oh, we're the ones that aren't getting it right, will maintain pure blood. You know, and maybe some of the people that didn't understand that they were part of an older lineage, and they went and got it. That's going to destroy their blood. That's what might kill, the vampires, the draconians. Again, vampires and draconians, like Dracula, that kind of thing. Not all of them are evil by any means. Some of them surely, but I think that their bloodline could be destroying it. So maybe some of them knew it, just got it. Maybe they got it anyways. They did. Maybe they already knew they were vampiric or vampires or whatever. But they went and got it, not knowing what it was going to do. I mean, if you flip it around to the idea that maybe this whole thing was to get rid of the invasive species. And play the opposite game. Okay, so this thing isn't as obscene as we think it is, but it's the opposite. That is getting rid of the people that were part of a vampiric or draconian or succubus bloodline, and that's who's taking it, and that's who it will rid. Perhaps. Oh, and I will remind people, if you guys want to, because you're entertained, or because you like me, or if you need help or something, you can always contact me. theoluminous@gmail. If you need one-on-one help with anything. And if you want to, just because I'm awesome, you can donate to me. CashApp, PayPal, Venmo. It's in the description box beneath. It supplies me with my fuel for the world, which is a beer, perhaps a cigar now and then, and food occasionally. Let me grab a beer here, speaking of. 1 second, y'all. Okay. Welcome to my virtual office. Well, this isn't virtual. This is my office. Isn't this nice? I'm surprised most people don't come out to the park or to go, like I see a lot of people go to coffee shops to do work rather than work at home, which is interesting. I guess if you like coffee, I don't like coffee that much. But I do see some people out working. But I mean, yeah, in the future, as more things go to the digital realm and things, most everything's done through computer systems anyways. Hey, why not at least be out in the park, getting some fresh air, sunshine, while you're doing whatever computer stuff that's going on. It would negate all of that, getting stuck inside. Make you probably work better. Your brain would work better. Are you making jewelry? Yeah, I've played around with making jewelry. I'm just not. I don't have the. There's a certain kind of patience I have for doing things, for certain things. But I've known people that are really good at wire wrapping jewels and things, and it's just so well done. And I know how long it takes and what it takes to get, to be a good craftsman at that. And I just could never. It would take longer to become proficient at it, I guess, to make it worth doing. I like the end product, but I don't particularly enjoy doing the process. There's other things I enjoy the process, So, yeah, for people that do it, that's awesome. Like people that like knitting, making jewelry. I get it. It's not my damn thing. See that, but isn't that the lovely thing about people? They have things that they're good at, that they like doing, that are calming, that are part of their passions that other people don't, and so that's great. There's where people get to barter. Oh, you're saying so for parks and things? Yeah. Well, here, oddly enough, like I've lucked out because of the service I had. So I've had my shit work here. But other people that had different service, well, I mean, it got screwed up down here because of the hurricane. But that'd be easy enough to set up. It doesn't need to be if everybody's still scared of the 5G or whatever. I don't just don't be. I think because all of the frequencies can be used against the human system. It just so happens that that's in line with a bunch of other things that people consume that can affect you negatively. But so can all of the other networks. You realize if they're giving people 5G, then they have probably 30G already. It's already up there. It's already in the ether. It's already out there. There's microwaves. There's all things running around you right now. It's completely filled with stuff, all different wavelengths and bandwidths, and it's already there. So yeah, they could run that just about anywhere. So people could work from wherever they liked. It's 4:30. Hmm. Well, well, well. Well, how about this, guys? This has been a joy. I do have to piss, so let me do this. Oh yeah, I hear you on the service, so that you got to get the next one. Yeah, it's a planned obsolescence for the technology. Yeah, that is a troubling aspect of it all for sure. You just got to keep that little fish, got to keep that little carrot in front of you to get the next thing. Yeah, but people that are but the point is, people that are working in such businesses, they'll have the income potential to get the next network to be able to get on with the 6G and the 7G or whatever else goes on. Some people are still working with them dial-up modems, man. Anyways, I do have to piss, so I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave this here. Find a place to piss, and maybe I'll just let's see. I probably go piss over there. I don't think anybody will bother me there. Hmm. How about this? Give me 10 minutes, y'all. I'm gonna get off of here, and I gotta answer a couple texts anyways, and then I'll come right back on here, and we'll have another chitty chat. So let's call it let's say 5 o'clock. It's 4:30. 5 o'clock. I'll be back on here, and we'll chit chat about anything you guys want. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave it in the comments after this, or on any of the whatever. Just leave me a comment. So if you have any ideas. So I'll see you shortly. It's good to see everybody. Stay well, be weird, be yourself, inspire people. Take care of them. If you can't, take care of yourself at least. Enjoy your day, be weird, and if you guys come back, I'll see you in like 30. If you don't, I'll see you next time. Toodles.